G'day, good evening. Nico from the Wandering Weatherman. Um, Today I'm just doing a quick video of a few areas of interest around the local area around here. One of them being the weather station that you can see behind me here. And the other part is the old prison farm. So I'll be taking you to have a look at some of the old buildings around here, be explaining what all this wonderful equipment around here is for. And there's also a radar which is off screen but over there that I'll be talking about as well. So hopefully you enjoy this video. It's a bit different than what I normally put out with the forecast, but thought it'd be a nice little interesting thing to show everybody. So enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and to like the channel or the video. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. And yeah, keep an eye on for more of these. I will, as I go around, I'll do more of these little videos and show you little tidbits of the local area. And when I get traveling again, I'll be doing the same for when I'm traveling. So I won't just be storm chasing on the channel or weather forecasts. I want to show people history of places that people haven't really gone before. And why not start here, right on my doorstep. So enjoy the video. Again, subscribe, like the video, share it. Yeah, enjoy. Have a good one. A little bit of a different video today. I live in basically camping out in the bush out here, you can see. And you may have noticed in certain videos that there are old buildings like this. This is the grounds of an old prison farm that used to operate up here in the 70s, and it closed in 1996. So I'm just going to take you a little wander around and give any information that I can, that I know from this area. Now, this building here, this was the sick bay, basically. So where people got sick in the prison. So I'm just sorting out my tripod. And needed medical care. So they came here and got that. So what we're going to do is have a little trip inside. Spider webs. Now it's not super safe, so we'll have to be careful. But you can see in there is where they used to treat a lot of the sick. See if we can have a little look in. I'm just going to pause the recording. Okay, I'm inside. Now I'm going to have to be careful where I put my footing. Here, it's a lot of damage. I may not be able to take you all the way in, but anyhow, so right here we have what appears to be what used to be the showers. See if I can, without killing myself. Unfortunately, a lot of it's been destroyed by people coming in, but there's rooms up here, and I'm a bit not sure if I should really go too far in, but there are hospital beds or hospital bed rooms up this way. It's a bit disastrous, and I've only got these little rails to walk on. Over that side looks a bit clearer, so let's go around that side. Before I carry on my little trip to inside this place, just wanted to show you this beautiful big fig tree. I forget its name, but it's very, very old. Normally you find these next to more wet areas, but this one seems to be pretty happy up here, and it is absolutely massive. And just to give you an idea of how big it is, I'm 178 centimeters tall, and this is me against this. So it's pretty massive indeed. Couldn't get too close because of the damn spikes, but that's a fairly big tree. Right. Okay, so we're just coming around the other side. Now we're going to have a little look, see what we can find around here. See if I can take you in better. So, you can see in there anyway, I'm not going to, safety concerns, I'm not going to go in there. I'll be an idiot to do it, but you can see from this side, so if I was to have a guess, the nurse's office will be here, just over there, and then each of these little alcoves around there, there are old-fashioned machine slots in the wall. So I did actually try to get a view of them through the window, but I couldn't. So yes, this is an old rundown medical bay. You won't find much information on this particular establishment, like the Gunn Point Prison farm. I'm not entirely sure why, but you will find very, very little on this in the public record. It's very odd, I have to admit, but yeah, that's the way it is, I suppose. Right, let's move on. So we're just going to go, God, just got to get down from here. Try to sort out my tripod. Okay. So, had a bit of rain. It's got a few puddles around, but nothing too dramatic. So the next we're going to have a look at the remnants, because before this was a prison farm, it was an army base for the Australian Army, and I think the American Army, maybe. Not 100% sure on that one. So this little area is part of the old army building. Now someone was camping here, they left stuff behind and it basically got burnt out, as happens, unfortunately. But here, these tubes, these are cyclone shelters. So these are the shelters the army and the prison most likely used whenever there was a cyclone nearby. Let's have a look inside. Just take the phone off there and put the camera on. Now to get in there, ooh, spider webs, but not something I'm not used to. Okay, so here we go. These are old cyclone shelters. And I have said before to Mum that if we do get a cyclone, and it's too bad, we're going to have to live in one of these until it passes, but we are quite sheltered where we are. So every one of these is pretty much like this. Little tube with these benches. I'd imagine they'd put rolls or something on these. Sleep on. Don't know. As you see, tiny little door. What's in there? Not much. Snails. Say hi, spider. Oof. Okay. Turn that off. Move on then. So, yeah, so these were back from the army days. As you can see, each one exactly the same inside it. So, and now we have this over here, not in very good condition anymore, but it's an old army shed. You can see by the shape of it that it was an army thing. It's got that, just doesn't match the rest of the buildings that were put in later. So I'm not sure what this was used for during the prison or the time the army was here, but it's a bit of a wreck now. Years of storms, cyclones, people pretty much screwed it up and broke it, which is a shame, but that's what people do. Okay. So we have remains of old buildings and stuff out here. This, don't really know what it was. Toilet perhaps. Not sure. I mean, with this pipe out the back here, I'd say it's possibly some sort of toilet system. Maybe went into a cesspit down there. All speculation. This would have been one of the old army buildings too, but it was destroyed by people, cyclones, who knows which, one or the other, combination of both probably. Now over there is an old water tank, I would imagine. That's what it certainly looks like. Get my steps in today. About time. My nose, I'm a bit out of breath, to be completely honest. I've done fuck all for months, so I'm very unfit. So this is actually a nice little change for me. I'm enjoying this little stroll, and I thought, you know what, why not make a video? This is a piece of history. Well, an empty piece of history. Obviously an old power box. Now something a bit more weather related. Next. And I'm going to take you a little stroll to the Gunpoint Weather Station. the Northern Territory Pollution Research Station, and a radar that I think is used for research of storms over on the Tiwi Islands. So let's have a little look. Kind of a video on a weather channel without having something weather related. So here it is. This is about 250 meters from where I'm camping. And yeah, this is a pollution thing. So it's a custom built for purpose facility that is owned by, well, the radar and the weather station that I'll take you to soon. So the radar up here is above me, and the weather station is owned by BOM. And try not to fall over in this puddle. And the other part of it, this station here, why does it always do that sissing noise every time I come next to it? It scares me every time. And here's, it's owned by those guys. So they've got all this specialized equipment up the top there. Let me just show you that sign. So that's what it is, this thing. Because it's out and it gets a lot of bushfires, it can measure the pollution that comes from those bushfires. So it has a lot of equipment up here that is used to measure pollution. Looks like it may even have a little weather station up there of its own. And now I'll bring you to the rather miscapped weather station. This is one of the more obscure ones, so the BOM don't really keep it under the best maintenance, but at the moment it's not too bad. So you got a the anemometer up there with the wind direction, turning slowly. You've got the rain gauge just there, so that's a tip bucket. And if we go round the other side, get a closer look at where the temperature is measured, and the Stevenson screen just there. So that is the where the temperature stuff is, which is kept in which is kept in good condition. Everything else here is good. Sometimes this gamba grass, they just leave it for long periods, and it does misread a lot of the stuff. So, but at the moment, it's good size grass, won't be affecting anything. But it's not one of those weather stations that are used for the national average temperature. It's not really, records aren't really kept here anymore. You can find them on Weather Zone, and you can find them getting live fed on the BOM observation page. But other than that, it's classed as a closed site, even though it's not. And all of the information gets passed over to the BOM office by the antenna up there. that's just under the anemometer. And its position is really good. Like it is just surrounded by nothing but open bush. So when they do maintain the grass, it's a very good indication of what's happening up here. So yeah, it's just at the end of the season, sometimes they don't get to this grass very quickly. Well, that's a weather station. I'm going to now continue on with the little tour of the other place, the actual prison farm up here. With the how quiet, how overcast it is today, I'm having a bit of trouble with the exposure of the phone, but that's okay. Anyway, next part I want to show you before we get to more buildings is these big open fields. You saw one next to the weather station. Now, as you can see, they go on quite a way. So you have all along up there, and what they are were crop fields and or cattle. I'm not 100% sure which, but these fields were used for produce, because this farm used to actually have cattle and stuff and crops and whatnot. And you see these trees, these are African mahogany trees. They're quite common around Darwin. But there was a plantation up here, and these are the surviving ones, that used to provide wood to Darwin. There's also, and it's a bit of way away, but there's pine forests, and they used to supply beef to Darwin. There used to be a little butchery up here. I don't know where that is, but I think one of the little buildings used to be it. So they used to provide a lot of meat for down in the city. And these fields were more likely where they had cattle and stuff like that. So that's my theory anyway, because the little information I found, that's what makes more sense to me than anything else. Right, our next little stop is this little building. Now there's probably F4 left in here, but at one point they had what appeared to be network things and power distribution. There's a load of it down there, and there's boxes, very old technology up here. There's not much evidence of it now, obviously, but yeah, I would say this was probably like a type of network station and power distribution, because it used to have some really old components to it, but they've since been either thrown down there or removed. But the building itself is relatively intact, except for the big gaping holes here and up there. But overall, this little building, not bad. It's actually held up pretty well. Wouldn't take much to fix it up if you were in that kind of frame of mind. So there. Okay. Let's take another stroll. Hear me fall over or something. It's always fun. Make sure my microphone doesn't drop off with these things. Here's another little building. to be actually completely fair, this is the first time I've seen it, so I don't know what to expect on this one. So let's have a little look. Make sure there's nothing I stand on. Oof, I was lucky. Toilet blocks. Nothing overexciting then. Just a old toilet block. Oh, it's still a bit of history. So I guess they had these dotted all over the place. At least it wasn't haunted. That's always a bonus. Let's continue. So yes, the prison farm was in operation from about 1970 something till 1996, when it was shut down and left to the elements. Now there is, if you're ever in Darwin or you live in Darwin and didn't know this, there is a more preserved sister farm or sister prison in Fanny Bay. The Fanny Bay jail. Pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's open to the public and is in a lot better condition than this place. So there's that. And basically, I think, if I remember correctly, this farm was used as overflow for the jail in the city. It was low security, because back in the day, when this was here, open, the road up here was not sealed. So there was open bush everywhere. So if any inmates decided, so there was a mix, and what I heard is there was a mix of murderers, of the whole shebang. And it was open, like I say, and if any of them tried to escape, it was highly unlikely they would survive out in the wilderness, out in the bush, together with the heat, the wildlife. You just wouldn't looking too good at the end of the day. Up here is about now it's around 47 kilometers from Howard Springs. There's the old sick bay that we had a look at earlier, and now it's sealed, but back in the day it wasn't. So it would have been a lot harder to find your way out of here and survive. I sure wouldn't do it. I think anyone in their right mind would, really. So we're just going to have a look over here. So as we're just walking across, sometimes the cops come up here and the military and play their war games, and numerous times in early morning you get woken up to a massive bang as they explode bombs. So that's always fun. Flies are terrible today. Okay, let's have a little look. So another old building. I think this was quarters. There's no... So these were like prison inmate rooms, I would take a wild guess. So probably 1 or 2 prisoners to a cell. tile floor. Like, that's my wild guess. I don't know for certain, but just looking at what's left, I'm definitely inclined to say that this is probably where some of the inmates slept. So, various size rooms. Just get through this without standing on anything that I don't want to. Definitely won't want to sleep in here now. No roof. The roof is long gone. So in here we have more. These will be showers, toilet. Bit of humour from someone. So yeah, these would have been the showered rooms. You can see where the shower head went up there at the top of that H, and where the taps were, and there was probably soap holders there. Another toilet, a couple of toilets maybe. Looks like there's another one there. Probably fit about 3 in there, I'd say. And that looks like it used to be a urinal there. So there's that. More buildings over there, most likely the same. And the same through here. Just more and more. Sorry, a moment. Bushwhacking, you see, barefoot, and there's glass on the floor, so just concentrating while I just navigate through that. There we go. So that's that. Obviously it's time, vandalism, all the usual things. One moment, just navigating more glass. There we go. Stupid coming out here, no shoes on, but that's the way you work it out here. So there's more toilets, shower blocks. Seems to be one hell of a load of shower blocks out here. And up here is the old water tower. Let me just see if I can get over there. To you and my listeners, there used to be a woman that was camping just there, and she was getting quite violent or abusive. I'm not sure if she's still there, but we'll see what happens. Get it all on camera. Right, waded across there. I don't think she's there anymore, but now a shout out to Doug Gray here. He's a local up in Darwin, and he actually was part of the team that built this or installed it, one or the other. And there were 2 of them, but now there's only 1. Now if you ever travel up here and you ever go through Mataranka, you will see an identical tower. That is the second tower from here. So as I say, there was 2 here, but now there's just the 1. Flies. So yeah, and you can climb up that. Okay, next bring you to this building. This was just behind the water tower. And this was where that lady I mentioned earlier lived for a little while. She only drank a little bit apparently, and there's beer cans left everywhere out here. Pretty bad. Anyhow, this building I was told was the good prisoner building. So it's in quite a good nick. It stays relatively dry in here. And this is when that lady turned up. I told her, like, there's a building over here, or there is sheds around you can find a spot in. And yeah, this one is actually in really good condition. And by the looks of it, stays pretty dry. But whatever reason, she left after yelling days and days of abuse at us. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, this is where good prisoners were given. At least this is what I was told by a guy that used to work here. They used to let him have this house. So it was a fully kitted out house at one point. And with air conditioning, as you can see just here. And the prisoners used to live in here for however long. I don't know how long they were given, but it was all theirs. There used to be, I don't know if we can see from here, but let's have a little look anyway. You can kind of see the remnants of it. There used to be a water thing here, water feature. Barramundi in it, apparently. But I'm not sure. So yeah, this is where they used to put them for being good. It's a very, very interesting, well-kept building, actually. So we've got one more place to go before I finish up on this, because I think I've been going for near on half an hour. But, you know, a lot to be said. And I think I like to, instead of always cutting it between places, I wanted to do a bit of a walk through so that you see a bit of the nature out here as well. So that over there is the prisoner mess, and it is a mess too at the moment. I'll take you in there. I don't even hear my dogs barking, they think I'm someone else. Now, lots of roos been out here. See them by the footprints. Should do my best David Attenborough impression for that, shouldn't I really? But we see here the roos have been here in their natural habitat. Yeah, that was terrible. I won't try that again. Okay, back to what I was actually here showing you. So this is where the prisoners used to eat. It gives a whole new meaning to mess, because it literally is a mess in the very dirty word sense. But here it is. So you had fans, they had the fans going. Kitchen was over there. I would have had numerous seating to accommodate everybody. So yes, one last place, and that is where I am, over there, behind this building. And that particular building was where the officers, prison workers, had their meals. So in there. So there you go. Now come full circle. There is a lot more to this place, but I didn't want this video to go on for like hours and hours. And how I get my information out to you, using Starlink. But anyway, so that's your little tour of the old Gunn Point Prison farm. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Look out for more. I will do more of these, and once I get back on the road, the car's working properly, I'll start going to different places. May even go to Fanny Bay Jail. But there's a Tracy Memorial, Fog Dam, a few places I'd like to visit again, or visit for the first time. And that's it from me. Out. Thank you.